From the Aron Space Museum in Washington, D.C., our pleasure to welcome the crew of Apollo 11, Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, Mike Collins. Gentlemen, good morning all.
Good morning, Brian.
In 20 years, have you grown kind of weary of being asked about this? What's the story?
Oh, I don't think so. We really enjoy remembering those very special days, and actually not too many days come up when we get the chance to reflect on it.
Neil, you are today, by all accounts, a very private man who kind of shuns publicity. Is that a result of the glare of your achievement?
No, I don't really shun publicity, but I'm not naturally attracted to it, so I probably don't volunteer for as many jobs as some of the others.
Buzz Aldrin, Mike Collins, does it seem like yesterday? Does it seem like 20 years ago, or does it seem even more distant than that?
Well, I've been thinking a good bit about it this last year while I've been writing a book, but it still does seem like a good while back. I'm the first one that's going to reach 60 in this group, and it's going to happen during 1990.
Mike Collins, but for today, how often are you reminded of your achievement?
Well, if I go out back and look up in the sky and see the moon, either I can remember where I was 20 years ago, or I can pretend I've never been there, and it works for me either way.
I'm going to assume that it was and continues to be the greatest achievement of each of your lives. And could you tell me a little bit if it changed your own self-image, your perception of yourself in any way? Mike?
Well, I feel very fortunate. Usually in life you're either too old to do something or you're too young to do something, and I just happened to come along at exactly the right time. So my image has changed in the sense that I feel luckier now. I feel more fortunate because of having gone to the moon on Apollo.
Buzz Aldrin?
I think going to the moon was one of the most fantastic things that happened in my life. It changed my view of other people and other people's view of me, of course, and I had a little personal difficulty coping with that, but I'm a much finer man today because of growing as a result of all those experiences.
Neil Armstrong, same question.
Well, we've been given many opportunities as a result of our experiences, and that can't help but affect you, and I think by and large it's for the better.
Let's talk a little space business, gentlemen. The shuttle program has, by almost general agreement, proven a sad replacement for the moon missions. Since your landings, NASA's achievements have not been nearly as glorious. Are you disappointed in that? Did you think we'd be farther along by now?
I certainly hoped that we would. About 6 years after our flight, we did a joint mission with the Soviets, and then for almost the next 6 years, not one American went into space, and I don't think that's what a pioneering nation ought to be doing after putting together such a remarkable team that we did.
So what's it need to spark it to the heights it enjoyed in the 60s, Mike Collins?
Well, I think human progress is rarely very even. I think it goes in spurts and fits and starts, and we've been on a plateau now for a while, but I think that's normal. I think it's time for the country to get moving again in space, and I think we will.
Do you think the program lacks leadership, Neil Armstrong?
I was delighted with the president's selection of Dick Truly and J.R. Thompson to head the agency. They're both outstanding, experienced people, and I think the agency will do very well under their leadership.
You three are, by all accounts, ever modest to discuss this, but clearly what you did was special. Do you think what you did was heroic?
No, absolutely not. I think you can find heroes. You find them nurses in emergency rooms. You find them a cop walking a beat, but not here.
Mike Collins, Buzz Aldrin, Neil Armstrong, I'm sorry to leave you on a point of disagreement, but I think a lot of folks would disagree with you. Thanks very much for being with us.
Thank you.
40 past the hour. We're back in just a moment.